Good evening. This is STV News. On the 4th, the government decided to repay 50,000 yen as a temporary special benefit to low-income single-parent households receiving child reading allowances by the end of the year. The economic impact of the spread of the new coronavirus infection has been prolonged, supporting the lives of families in need. The direction is to utilize the reserve funds that can be used for corona measures. Regarding support for low-income single parents, a special benefit was included in the second supplementary budget established in June, and one household was paid 50,000 yen. However, as the employment environment became severe due to the re-expansion of the corona infection, the ruling party was calling for additional measures. As in the last time, the government will target single parents who have not received child reading allowance if it can be confirmed that their income has decreased significantly. In addition, the second and subsequent children will be added. The 23rd Extraordinary Diet Session will end on the afternoon of the 4th, with the end of the session on the 5th. In response to this, Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga will hold a press conference at the Prime Minister's office from 6 p.m. to clarify his views on future administration, such as dealing with the new coronavirus. The eve of the Sakura wo Mirokai, sponsored by former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, and the suspicions over former Minister of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries, Takamori Yoshikawa, are likely to be asked for explanation. At the plenary session of both houses of the Diet on the afternoon of the 4th, a special bill for the Civil Code that stipulates the parent-child relationship of children born by donating eggs and the proposal for approval of the Economic Partnership Agreement, EPA, between Japan and the United Kingdom will be passed and passed. After this, both houses will process the end of the session. Kotaro Nogami, Minister of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries, said at a press conference after the cabinet meeting on the 4th that former Minister of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries, Takamori Yoshikawa, a member of the House Representatives of the Liberal Democratic Party, received cash from a major egg company. If there is a request for cooperation, I would like to respond appropriately. On the other hand, Mr. Nogami was asked whether he would give or receive cash from the egg company in question, and denied that he did not. He also pointed out to Mr. Yoshikawa, in general, politicians are required to be accountable for their own actions. Chief Cabinet Secretary Katsunobu Kato did not answer clearly at the press conference on the 4th when asked if he would take the initiative in inoculating the new coronavirus vaccine. Despite concern about the side effect, he only introduced that Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga and Minister of Health, Labor and Welfare, Norihisha Tamura, expressed their intention to inoculate when it was their turn in the Diet response. Mr. Kato expressed his intention to make every effort to verify the safety and efficacy of the vaccine, and stated that he would like to make efforts to disseminate accurate information based on scientific knowledge. At the same time, he said, inoculation will ultimately be decided by each person. In Japan, 2,518 new coronavirus infections were newly confirmed on the 3rd. The number of infected people per day exceeded 2,500 for the first time in 5 days since November 28, the highest number ever, 2,679. According to Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare, the number of seriously ill people increased by 9 from the previous day to 497, the highest number in 2 days. The number of newly infected people was the highest ever in Hiroshima, 46 people, Gifu, 42 people, Nara, 39 people, Kita, 18 people, and Kochi, 15 people. The death toll was 11 in Hokkaido and 8 in Osaka, for a total of 36 people, the second highest in the past. The Tokyo Metropolitan Government has confirmed 533 infections, which is more than 500 for 2 consecutive days. The number of seriously ill was 54, 5 fewer than the previous day. The number of people in their 20s was the highest at 114, followed by those in their 30s, 93, 40s, 89, and 50s, 81. There were 89 people aged 65 and over who were at high risk of aggravation. On the 4th, Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga sent a video message to the United Nations Special General Meeting following the spread of the new coronavirus infection worldwide, calling for solidarity with the international community. We must realize a united world to overcome the crisis, not a divided world, he insisted. He announced that he would cooperate with the World Health Organization's verification of corona response and reforms based on it. The Prime Minister emphasized the stance of emphasizing multilateral cooperation, such as the International Procurement Framework COVAX for the new corona vaccine. He expressed his intention to contribute to the development of medical facilities in Asia and Africa and the strengthening of the foundation of health care system in preparation for a future crisis. The special meeting will be held on the 3rd and 4th of Eastern Time. Following the spread of the infection, it was decided in June to evaluate the response of each country and discuss multilateral cooperation. Nagato City announced that the painting pottery from the Middle Yayoi period, about 2,000 years ago, was excavated at the Nagano archaeological site in Higashimachi, where a person in a bird costume with a spear and the hellbird Ka was drawn. According to the City Bird Cultural Property Center, it was the first discovery in eastern Japan. The person in charge said, "It shows the possibility that agricultural rituals like those in western Japan were held in Nagano Basin." The painting pottery is a pot with a height of about 42 cm and a caliber of about 20 cm on the pottery. A shaman-like figure is depicted holding a weapon dagger axe with a blade attached at the right angles to the handle, with both hands open and bird feathers on the head. An excavation survey started in 1996 found fragments of earthenware. A painting was drawn when it was joined. About 10 pottery pieces depicting a person with a dagger axe have been excavated in Japan so far, but all of them have been confirmed west of Nara Prefecture and are the first cases in eastern Japan. Mayor Hisao Kato says, "I want to use it as a material for public relations, including tourism and education." An exhibition of Kiyoshi Yamashita, known as a wandering painter, is being held at the City Lifelong Learning Center, Avista, until the 20th, as part of the 50th anniversary of the enforcement of the city system in Abie City, Chiba Prefecture. Kiyoshi Yamashita worked for about 5 years from 1942 at Yayoiken, a bento box shop in Abie Station. He said that he heard from a peddler that if you work at Yayoiken, you will not have any trouble eating. At the exhibition, pasted pictures such as Nagaoka fireworks, picture drawn for Yayoiken, works display in the mayor's office, rucksacks used during wandering, etc. are exhibited. The City Board of Education says it's because Yayoiken was willing to accept Kiyoshi. I hope you can feel the connection between people from a series of works. Kenji Shibuya, a public health expert and a professor at King's College London in the UK, told the newsletter by the 3rd that the new coronavirus vaccine was first approved in the UK. Mr. Shibuya commented on the impact on the Tokyo Olympics, which will start in July next year. It is a tailwind for the event, but as of July, infections will continue in many countries around the world, including Japan. In addition to vaccines, testing and tracking, it is necessary to aim for a system that thoroughly suppresses viruses by effectively utilizing isolation. At G20 summit held in November, Japan showed its determination to succeed in Tokyo Olympics and Paralympics to prove that humanity has overcome the new corona and received support. However, Mr. Shibuya does not expect the infection to end next summer and said the Tokyo tournament will not be a proof that the world has overcome corona and will be very difficult to hold. Lotte pitcher Yuki Karakawa, 31, responded to an interview at the Zozo Marine Stadium on the 4th and announced that he would remain without exercising his overseas free agent FA rights. He said, "I had a discussion with the team and thought about it." Karakawa, who joined the team in 2008 in the first round of the high school draft from Chiba, Narita High School, pitched in 32 games with relief this season, marking 1 win, 1 loss, and 14 holds in an ERA of 1.19. The total record is 72 wins and 70 losses in 278 games and an ERA of 3.72. And that's all for today. See you tomorrow for another news update.